We were still in the Brisbane River at Rivergate Marina, and the weather had continued to be fairly dismal. But on the odd day, we were able to get out and explore.
Ipswich! We're desperately trying to find a walk, aren't we, people? You look enthused.
Yeah, I think so enthused.
Yeah, I'm trying to find a walk. All right, you lot. What is the problem?
This is our first punishment in Australia.
And
It's not punishment to go walking in the bush.
it is punishment because it's Australia.
What do you mean you're going to die?
All the snakes, all the spiders.
Oh, this is going to be great.
It's refueling time, and we've had enough of sitting in the Brisbane brown. Raining again, of course, like it's really misty out here again, but we need to put some diesel in the tanks. Dave's just doing the petrol right now, and then we're going to head out into Moreton Bay. So we're super keen to be heading north, but this rain and the wind is just holding us where we are for a little while, so hopefully we can get going soon.
This seriously is the most disgusting water. We've been sitting in this now for 2 weeks, Dave?
Something like that.
So we've got a problem with one of our propellers still. It's just got quite a bit of vibration when it's rotating. And Dave's been given some ideas of what to do just to check that it's okay. And we just need some clean water in order to achieve the alignment that we need so that the vibration stops when we're motoring forward. So we're just desperate to get out into Moreton Bay and have a look, but I'm really doubting there's going to be any clear water at all. This rain has been persistent for weeks, and I'm just not confident that we're actually going to achieve what we want to achieve before trying to head north. Are you trying to fix your propeller?
Yeah, I've got to line up the blades with a point on the other side of the hull to see what the pitch is, but the visibility is just not good enough.
It's pretty green.
Yeah,
considering all this rain we've had.
Yeah, it's like a couple of feet, or a metre or so, and that's about.
Can you actually see from one side of the boat to the other?
Not really. I can actually barely see when I go down, I can only just see the propeller.
Okay,
until
well,
I get right up to it.
I guess Tangaloom's not the right spot then. We're just trying to make our way up north, just below Fraser Island. We're gonna stop in a place called, is it Double Island Point?
Yeah.
Which is really sheltered, and it's apparently there's a really beautiful lagoon there. But we've just got to go through this in order to get there. But this has kind of been our first opportunity to break out of Moreton Bay and head north. We've got tide with us at the moment. We've been travelling at almost 10 knots at times. We've got very little wind, but we're absolutely positive it's going to pick up. Aren't we?
Yeah,
we're staying hopeful. It's supposed to be like 15 knots behind us, but...
So 19, yeah.
Wow, okay. Oh well, hopefully we get a good sail. Woo, that's a biggie. Wow. Woo. That certainly gave all of the bottom of the boat a good clean.
So we're just coming out through the northeast channel from Moreton Bay, and as you can see it's pretty shallow all the way up through here, and some of these areas up here are down to 3 metres. We've had breaking swells over to the starboard side, and we've just got maybe a quarter of a mile of this shallow stuff where we're in 8 to 11 metres of water, and then we're into slightly deeper, we're into about 40 metres, and then from here on up through to Double Island Point it should be relatively deep.
We're sitting here just until the weather gets below 15 knots of wind and there's less swell, so that we can head into the Wide Bay Bar, which is just at the base of Fraser Island. Dave's just having a go at cleaning his pre-filters for our water maker. So he's going to drag the filter off the back of the boat, hopefully push all the sediment back through the other way.
Oh, so we've ended up with a new one.
Yes.
What did you go? I thought you were cleaning the water filter. Have you been out meeting the neighbours?
No, I was driving around, towing this through the water to try and get the sediment out.
Yeah. Okay. First things first. Did that work?
I think so. I don't know. Won't know till we try it.
Well, it is kind of dirty water, darling.
Yeah, it is. But anyway, to try and force it back out the way it came in. And then I stopped and I was talking to Tony over there.
Yeah.
And he asked me what I was doing, and I told him, and he just took pity on me and went inside and got me a new one. I did tell him it was okay, I'm capable of buying them, but he's like, no, someone gave me 5 of them. So anyway.
Very funny.
That's the old one?
Tony is an owner of Boatworks.
Yeah, the boat over there, Kato.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's very kind of him.
It is, yeah, it's awesome.
Super funny, though.
Yeah.
You're like the total pity case of
I know, I
the
feel
bay.
a bit guilty.
So what we've heard from others in the bay is that this part of the sandbank is new. It's been like the last 12 months it's really built up, and by built up I mean there's numerous trucks going backwards and forwards, trucks meaning, you know, 4-wheel drives, utes in New Zealand. So it really won't be long before this whole area is actually enclosed and none of the boats can use this as a stop off on their way up to Fraser Island anymore.
So it's grown all the way around to here.
And on Google Maps it actually shows us that, like the satellite images show us that we're sitting outside the lagoon at the moment and not protected by the sandbank. So I guess some updated satellite images need to be taken to show just how far the sandbank has grown in the last 12 to 18 months.
Prepare to mop your sons off the floor.
So this is what happens when the sun finally comes out.
Vulnerable place for me.
Yeah. Okay, me and Shay Diary twins. Again.
Again. What's happening?
Pretty much everyone is coming into the beach sundown tonight.
Nice. Did most people know about it anyway?
No.
Oh. Everyone's up this morning. Life jackets are laid out. Going over the Wide Bay Bar this morning. There's a massive procession of boats in front of us and behind us. Did you guys notice all the other boats?
Yeah.
You haven't really looked up, have you, Bria?
Not really.
No. So we're going to go in after all these boats and
Hopefully it's a safe bar crossing. They're always a bit tricky and it's good to time them and get some local knowledge about when to cross, what kind of conditions to cross in. And we've sort of heard that the Wide Bay Bar, you know, anything less than 1.5 swell is a good time to go, and you know, nothing more than 15 knots of wind. Some are still coming up the coast. They must have gone overnight. And we've left this double island point, which was fabulous, great place, but we're all going to head up into this bar area, and Tin Can Bay have given us some coordinates to aim for, some waypoints, which is fantastic because that bar changes shape all the time. Once safely over the bar, we entered the Great Sandy Straits and stopped at Gary's Anchorage, where we encountered our first dingoes.
is this the Great Sandy Straits, Dave?
Yeah, Great Sandy Straits should have been called the Great Muddy Straits, but we're heading through, and we're actually just approaching the shallowest part.
Yeah, where's that gonna be?
The shallowest part is up through this area through here. You see all the blue?
Yeah,
that go
okay.
through?
Yeah, everyone's been talking about it, haven't they? Got to get there at high tide.
Yeah, you have to time it for high tide, and because it's the two waterways meet, you get high tide in the centre and then the water runs out like this. So you've got to time it so you're coming in on the rising tide, you get to the middle, and then you go out on the falling tide from the centre. That's the theory.
Just to have the tides working with you, though.
Yeah.
How deep are we now?
5.9, so it's positively ocean depth in comparison to where we've been. Most of the time we're looking at 2s and 3s, and so yeah, it gets pretty nerve-wracking. I think the locals around here just get used to it, but for us,
Yeah, give us 4,000 metres beneath us any day.
So I'm downstairs with the kids, helping out with school, and I just sort of said to the kids that Dave's about to go over all the shallow parts, and Priya says to me, "So why aren't you driving?" And And I said, oh, it's because I'm helping you kids with school. And both Zeffie and Priya are, oh, I thought it was so you wouldn't get the blame when Dad grounds the boat.
Which would be very true to form.
I thought that was super funny.
Yeah, whenever it gets super shallow. Oh, Dave, do you want to drive the boat?
Not all the time. It has happened on occasion.
Thrown under the bus.
You couldn't help yourself, Dave?
I succumb to peer pressure when you're the only boat in the whole lineup with no sail up. Oh, there's a boat down there with no sail up. But
Oh, yeah, but now he sees you've done it.
I know, I've just made
He's
this.
just going to go, oh, now I really am the only boat in the bay.
We've got through the shallow part, mate. That was
Okay.
the main thing.
That's cool.
So we're going on Fraser Island today, and we've hired a 4-wheel drive, and we are going to explore Fraser Island, go to a few lakes and stuff like that. So we're taking the day off school and yeah, going exploring.
All right, so we've been told to stop top of the hill, which we've just made it to, and Dave's got to put the diff lock on.
Just done it. Green lights on the dashboard.
Okay, so, and she said coming down the hill is going to be pretty adventurous. So I guess we're just going to see how it goes. This is one of the inland lakes on Fraser Island. Dealing with dingoes. Gosh, this information is just everywhere you go on Fraser Island, warning us of the dangers of interacting with the dingoes. This is so cool. We're in our timeline of being allowed on the beach. You have to be
2 hours after high tide and
2 hours before.
2 hours before high tide.
Yeah, so we've got about 4 hours where we're allowed to drive on this beach. So we're just here at the Mahino, which is lying on the eastern side of Fraser Island, and we can see about 2 decks above the sand, but there's about 5 decks below the sand. And it used to do trans-Tasman trips between Sydney and Auckland, and just ended up here on the beach after it was being towed, and its tow straps snapped and it got washed up here, and it's stayed here ever since. And we got told 3 reasons why we weren't allowed to swim on this beach. What were they, Zeffie?
Sharks, rips and stingers.
Yeah. What are you going to do now if I say dingo? So we've managed to drag the dinghy down to the shore, but unfortunately we're now in quite deep mud and we can't drag the dinghy out any further. So we have to wait for the tide to come in a bit. Oh, Zeffie, that's getting really deep now.
Look at mine, Reese. My knees are.
What happened?
You're going to fall, aren't you? You got it? Okay, you need to help yourself. All I'm going to do is give you back.
Goodness me. Oh, ew, ew. Oh. That was
Quite weird.
disgusting.
Join us next time as we move further north and meet more cruising families.